post-COVID training, because I'm sure that's what you have tuned in for. Can you train? Can you not train? Will you combust? Blah, blah, blah. Hello and welcome back to my channel. It has been a hot minute since I've last done a video. So I've just arrived at Delamere Forest and I've got my bike in the back of the van. So I'm going to go for a ride first. I might take some videos of that because I've never been around here before. And I've got a new Garmin, so I've actually put a route in. So I've driven here to like go and see what's around this area, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you where we're at with life. Debrief is, had COVID, I did a super sprint race that I won, sorry, and yeah, I'm going to Hawaii in October, news on that later, but yeah, so I'm going to go for a ride, come back, and then I'm going to talk to you about like post-COVID triathlon training recovery, and what kind of my thoughts are and what I've done, and yeah, hopefully it might help. So I will see you shortly. I've just stopped for a second because like these roads are so bloody lovely. Like if you look around, there's absolutely no vehicles. I mean, the potholes are horrific. I literally said there was no people and then about 10 guys come past on the bike. Yeah, so there is a lot of potholes and I hate that because these roads are so narrow that like if a car's coming around the corner and you're trying to avoid a pothole, like could be an incident. Worst thing about these roads, how beautiful they are. I listen to the radio in my ear and you can't get any signal, so I'm gonna have to listen to a playlist or download a podcast beforehand. So if anybody has any advice on a good podcast, let me know. I do sometimes listen to Jamie Lang, Huffman Chelsea, when he's interviewing like somebody good. It's quite funny, but yeah, it's something I always forget to do. I always forget to download a playlist, always forget to download a podcast, and then I come out on a ride and I'm like, great, just the sound of my breathing. New Garmin that I got for my birthday. So now I'm 28, oh, gosh. So I've got 1 year left in the 25 to 29 category. So, you know, I've got to win an Ironman and everything next year. Psych! But yeah, so yeah, my Garmin's great. Like I did have a few teething issues at first. I think it's the 5:30, I don't know. When I get back, I want to tell you all about COVID and post-COVID training, because I'm sure that's what you have tuned in for. Can you train? Can you not train? Will you combust? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so let's crack on. Ride done, back in the car. It was a lovely ride actually. It was about 22 miles, nice and steady, nice and easy. But then I did hit some like, you know when you see that sign and it's like 10%, 15% and you think, sorry, I didn't sign up to this. So I did see a few of those signs, but they were nice and short, so it wasn't too... I'm super hot because I'm the hottest person in the world. No, I actually just get really sweaty. I'm gross. Post-COVID life. So I got COVID. So we're on the 1st of August now, and I got it after Bolton Ironman. So like the day after Ironman, because my boyfriend's a teacher and he has to test. He felt a bit shit, but thought it was due to the Ironman, like knocking his defense system, metabolism. What's it called? Immune system, because obviously it's like a hard race, and if you did watch any of the Ironman, it was like 11 hours in the rain. I also thought like, oh, I do have a bit of a cold, but I did open water yesterday and I've been in the rain. But then obviously he got a positive lateral flow. Now I had a sore throat, but I didn't have a positive lateral flow test, so I was like, oh, maybe I've not got it. And then by the Tuesday I had a positive lateral throat, had the PCR on the Wednesday, and then obviously I was in self-isolation from the Monday anyway. Yeah, I missed my best friend's Hendo, which was shit. So I missed a race that I was looking forward to. The COVID itself, like I was actually fine-ish. I had a cold, like a blocked nose, kind of like a bit headachy, but that was about it. Like I carried on working, I was working from home. I could concentrate. Like, I wasn't really poorly. It would be unfair of me to say that. So I've had one vaccination. I missed my second one because I had COVID, so I've got that coming up. But I had that one vaccine, so I don't know whether that gave me some sort of defense mechanism. Obviously, within that 10-day period, I didn't do any training, and I did have like a band in there, and I did some like glute work. And then, yeah, so then coming out of having COVID was on the 15th of July, which was my birthday. So I came out of isolation there. Then I went to Oxford on the Friday for 4 days. I was supposed to go into the Formula 1, but that was cancelled because my sister then got COVID, but she doesn't live at home. There's a lot of guidance out there to say that you should really take it easy after you've had COVID. So up to 10 days from when you last had symptoms, you should kind of stay away from training. Obviously, that's kind of the guidance that's out there, but I guess you have to just do kind of what's right for you and what you're being told. So if your coach thinks you should train, then maybe listen to them. If your coach says not to, then maybe listen to them. And if you don't have a coach, then probably best to go off the guidance and also go off how you feel, because if you take 10 days off and after you've had the symptoms but you feel bloody terrible and you can't walk up the stairs, then obviously just because you said 10 days, take more time off because you might not feel great. So yeah, so then I came back from Oxford after like the 4 or 5 days. I did start going in the pool again, just like taking it easy. To be honest, like the first few runs, swims, bikes were actually really tough. Well, not really tough, like they just felt like more difficult, you know, when you think, bloody hell, that was hard work. So I don't know, is that to do with having COVID and the effect that it's had on you, or is it to do with the fact that normally you train so much and then for 10 days you're literally lay on a sofa or sat on a chair in one room, so you're doing no exercise at all. So you know, when you go on like a holiday, you might feel a bit unfit when you come back to training. So yeah, those first sessions were tougher. There is obviously this long COVID, and that can affect some people. It may affect me, I don't know, hopefully not, but at this stage it's not. So it's just best to kind of go off what you think is best for you. They do recommend that you could go and get an ECG test done. I mean, let's be realistic, the likelihood of you ringing your GP and saying, oh, I just want to do a triathlon in August, I was just wondering whether I could have an ECG before I start training. They're probably gonna just say, what? But even if they did say, yeah, okay, great, then you're gonna be on a waiting list, and it's gonna be aging. If you have private medical, that may be different, but it's something to consider. The risk, I think, that there, and insofar as if you start training too soon, then it can have an effect on your heart. I think it's myocarditis, like inflammation of the heart. But yeah, that's just my side of it. I know when I had COVID, I was like looking online thinking, oh my god, can I train, can I not train? Real consensus is take a bit of time out. So now obviously I missed one race, and then I did on an hour about doing a sprint try. In the end I thought, oh well, I do want to do a race, so I ended up doing a super sprint. I felt like I could do it. I won that one, so I was really happy with that. I know some people think, oh, it's a super sprint, it's a fun race, which I feel like it's a bit unfair, because I mean, you don't go up to Usain Bolt and say, oh, you know, is your 100 metre Olympic final fun? Because that's not like Mo Farah's race, is it? So it's not really a running race, is it? Like if Adam Peaty does a 100 metre breaststroke versus Lucy Charles doing 1500 crawl, you don't say to Adam Peaty, oh, it's not a real race though, is it? Behind me was 4 seconds behind, so I'm glad that I didn't kind of like give up. I will kind of hopefully start doing videos again. I just thought, what's the point of doing a video being like, oh hi, still have COVID, done nothing today, still have COVID. Lots to come. Hopefully no more setbacks, she says. And I've got my next vaccine on the 9th of August, so next week. Don't take my advice as Bible, do your own research, but just wanted to share kind of how I felt. Yeah, hopefully you don't get it, but if you do, I hope you're okay. And if anybody has had it or has it now and they're worried about training or whatever, maybe drop me a message on Instagram. So try Kaggy on Instagram, and I will try and help you and answer your questions or put your mind at ease. But yeah, and that's it from me. We're gonna go and get some food now. So we're going to the Hollies farm shop, which is one of my favourite farm shops. Okie dokie. I will see you all soon. Bye.